Yeah, she's on.
So there's going to be some growing pains I can see already with this new format.
Yeah.
But I want to use this new format because it's number one, it's free, or you can pay whatever you want or whatever you can afford. If you want to pay the same amount you're paying to Zoom, if you want to pay $1, if you want to pay $100 a month, whatever, you can. There's some add-ons and that kind of thing that you can add on to the situation that cost monthly fees. But for the most part, it's completely free to anybody who wants to use it, and it has all the same things that Zoom has. And so we're okay. Good. So we're recording. I'll figure this out because I'm going to do some tests that are going to be off of the show and that kind of stuff, and get this thing figured out because I want to be able to use it. I want to be able to share this way because, number one, they don't require you to have a password. All of a sudden, Zoom just decided we have to have a password, whether we want one or not. And I'm like, I don't want a password. I want people to just jump in. I don't want to have to deal with that. And then the other side of the thing is we learned from Ian Rude that deep into their all their policies and procedures is this little tidbit that they're recording and data mining all of your information, and they can and will use it against you if necessary. And that, like, whoa, there's already enough stuff being used against us right now. So I want to switch over to this new platform and try and encourage other people to do so as well. And and hopefully we can get the same effect and everything else. And something else I thought I'd share with you real quick, Coach. I know we don't have a lot of time today, and that's fine. I really just wanted to, just see you again for your monthly gracing of the show, and maybe you can just basically drop some mindset bombs on us today, because right now everybody's minds are just going nuts. People are going crazy. The world's gone crazy. Everything is just, it's like insanity on steroids. And
people need to be like this: calm, cool, collected.
Exactly. That's
not like this. I'm losing my mind. I can't take it anymore.
So, anyway, before we get started, I wanted to share something with you that I actually just ordered this today. We'll see. I'm going to give it a try. I like to use myself as a guinea pig on certain things before I share them out with other people. But I've got this thing coming in that I paid a whopping $49 for this morning, and it'll be here soon. And it's an internet booster. That apparently what it is it, the internet companies out there, they give you real fast internet speed for a period of time, and then they start deliberately slowing your speed down, and that way they can get you to buy an upgraded package and pay them more money. Well, these little genius computer whizzes came up with something that you can plug into your wall, and I watched some information on it today and read a bunch of reviews about it, and I decided to go ahead and take the chance and see what it's worth and give it a shot. So it's going to be coming in, and I'm going to be utilizing it as soon as it gets in, and we'll see. I'm hoping that it's going to really boost my internet speed like it says it will, because I really need faster internet. I need, because of these shows that I'm doing, trying to Zoom content and in this case, free conference calls content, and, hopefully get things to move faster. And if it works faster for me, then it's going to work faster for you. And the price of it is worth every penny if it does what it says it's going to do. So we'll see. But anyway, you guys keep your heads up, keep your eyes open for that, because once I get it tested, if it's something that works, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be sharing it out with the family. So, Coach, It's so good to see you. How are you doing? How's everything going? I haven't, all this stuff wasn't going nuts the last time we talked.
Right.
And now the world's gone crazy, and we need some mindset. We need
Yeah.
some brain power. We need Coach Minard in the house. So thank you for being here, honey. And so what's going on? What kind of advice or what do you have for us today? We need something from our angel. And
oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you for having me on. And I think what Sean did was, part of we need to laugh. We need to not take everything quite as seriously too, because there's so much information going on. There's so much out there, and I try to limit my time and what I look at, but sometimes I don't, and I get entrenched in it, and I start freaking myself out. My husband's like, turn it off or put it away. This is inundating us with all this, and there's so many conspiracy theories, and there's all this stuff, and all that does is create more fear. And this is out of our control. These are all things out of our control. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to things. And so, even me working on myself, it's what can I control during this time? And I don't want to be stressed, because stress is not good for my body. When we start looking at all this stuff, we start feeling anxiety and stress, then we go into the fight or flight. That's what the part of the brain that turns on, and the rational thinking turns off. This is why people are fighting in stores over toilet paper, and people are saying it's the end of the world, and all this stuff. Like, we stop thinking rationally because we go into this fight or flight type of mode. And so how do we bring ourselves back into the here and now and take control of our emotions? And foundationally, it goes back to gratitude. You cannot have joy, you cannot have happiness without gratitude. All this is scientifically proven. So it's figuring out, what do I have to be thankful for right now? Right now I have a roof over my head. I have food, right now in the refrigerator I have food. I have family. Today the sun is actually out for us after a week of rain. I'm so thankful for that. You think about, we have to be stuck at home and people are complaining, yet there's people working to death in the hospitals trying to handle all of this, and how much they wish they could be home with their families and just sit and relax. And that's what we can do right now, is just have a more slower pace of life, to just begin to reflect and begin to think about those things in life that we really can be grateful for. Gratitude begins to get us out of the fight and flight. It helps the brain to relax because it helps to produce dopamine, the happy hormone, serotonin, the well-being hormone. And then when the brain is relaxed, it can begin to see solutions and possibilities versus all the bad things and all the fear and anxiety and all the ways that all this could spin out of control. And so it's, even for myself, it's saying, okay, Sharon, take a deep breath. What can I control right now? I can't control all of that, but I can control how I react. And right now, I'm really thankful that my kids are home. We're doing homeschooling. Homeschooling has been a lot. It's been stressful at times. But I've had some really beautiful moments with my kids that I wouldn't have had otherwise. My husband is home now, and we've gotten in some really deep conversations about life and our marriage and our relationship and ourselves that we've never really taken the time to kind of dig. This is stuff where you just kind of keep digging and realizing, well, maybe this issue here really stems from this. And we've basically done marriage therapy on each other these last few weeks, and some really beautiful breakthroughs have come through of things that we didn't even know that we needed were issues until we sat down and started talking about it, because you just don't pay attention because you're so busy in your life that you just tune it all out. You don't take time to reflect. You don't take time to be still and really kind of think through, how can I grow through all of this? what is the message in this mess? Because if something, in all situations, something beautiful can come out of it, but I think it's our choice as to what's going to come out of it. And for some people, I think they're going to come out worse off and going to be emotionally wrecked. I think other people, probably little will change. But other people like us, I think, are really going to grow through all of this and become bigger and better people and stronger people. And we're going to take time to really self-reflect and begin to really appreciate. I mean, for me, it's like, holy cow, I filled my life with so much stuff, and yet I'm not paying attention and appreciating the things that really matter. You know, we can't take the stuff with us when we die. You know, what matters is love and relationships and, you know, these foundational things of life. And right now, that's all we have, really. We've been stripped down, and I think there's a lot of good that can come out of this if people will allow it to.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this is something that could really turn the world around for the better or for the worse at this point. You know, I mean, the simple fact of the matter is, the sad reality of our world is that there are evil people in this world.
Right.
And it's like Coach is saying, we can only control ourselves. We can only control our perspective. We can only do what we can do. And even if we're the 10% of what's happening, you know, of what's going on, and the 90%'s losing their minds, we still got to maintain and stay dug into what we're about and what our purpose is. And if that's how we go out, that's how we go out. But we ain't compromising, and we ain't going out like running around like Chicken Little screaming the sky's full.
Right.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen.
Another little exercise, too, that I learned through my life coaching training is, you know, sometimes we feel overwhelmed. I've talked about breathing exercises, like you breathe in for 4 and then you breathe out for 8. That just helps to reset the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system and all of that. But something else that you can do, and this is going to sound funny, is to smile. So when you smile and like you use your eyes to smile, you know, like you create those crease lines, it literally, the brain goes, be happy. Like that's literally what the brain says. When you do that kind, not just the, you know, the cheesy smile with your mouth, but when you really smile even with your eyes, you can trick your brain into being happier. So I've been doing that a lot because sometimes I'm like, oh, dear God, I'm going to die doing this homeschooling. And I'm like, no, I'm so thankful I have this time with my kids. And I just like, big smile, big deep breath. And it's like, I can do this. I got this. We're going to get through this. I'm thankful for this time. And you just, within seconds, you literally feel better. It's like magic, like really. And drink your water because the water, you know, helps the brain to produce dopamine. So I'm making sure I'm absolutely drinking my gallon of water every day to make sure I'm fueling my brain to be able to, because stress creates oxidation and all this too. So we want to counteract that. We want the hydrogen helps the brain to produce dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, all those good things to help us to stay balanced too. So
giddy up.
Yeah. Amen.
Giddy up.
Yeah, you know,
look, we all need to jump on and whip that horse you just talked about. That's the horse we need to ride on. We need to reach back, smack his ass, and giddy up. That's it.
You know, I've found that a little old that does you a world of good too. You know, that always brings a smile to your face. It takes it requires to actually let it rip. And so I always challenge people to go scream hooty hoo and tell me how they feel.
Yeah. I mean, put on some fun, entertaining shows like. Turn off the super serious stuff that you know is going to depress you. Put on something funny. The other night we sat down as a family, like we never watch stuff as family, like because it's so hard to decide. Well, we got out Back to the Future, and those are just such fun classic shows, you know, we're laughing at Michael J. Fox, like he's playing his daughter and his father and his grandfather, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like, this, you got to, like, just keep the positive stuff coming. We're so overwhelmed with the negative right now.
Yeah, we've actually been watching a lot of movies as of late, too, and trying to focus on funny movies, you know, romance movies, things like that, things with a good positive message. And
I've watched 13 end of the world movies, and I'm smoking 3 packs a day as a result. You know what I mean? I mean, that's perfect example. Pandemic, 666, the New World Order, epidemic, serial. I've watched them all, and I feel like I need to go to Trembling Hills just to recover in treatment.
Yeah. Well, even those, I've watched, I mean, people are sitting me on these conspiracy theory movies and all this stuff, and, like, after you watch it, you're like, you want to about go kill yourself. I mean, really, it's like, okay, this is not helping the situation. Some of the stuff could be going on, maybe it's not, but I can't control it. What can I do? I control myself. I can pray. You know, that's something that I can control. I can put out positivity, good into the world. You know, that's what I can do. And I have to let go of the rest and just trust the process. So.
And you know what else we can do is, you know, this is my big thing, and it has been for forever. You know, at least since the last 27 years. My thing has been the truth. I'm only interested in the truth. And I don't, you know, like we talked before in the past, Coach, you know, in my opinion, there isn't my truth and your truth. There is the truth. And the truth doesn't really care what you think. It doesn't care what I think. It's kind of like an ORP meter. The ORP meter doesn't read any articles. It doesn't listen to what any doctors say or anything like that. It just measures ORP.
Doesn't have an opinion.
And it doesn't really care one way or the other. It doesn't have any opinion. It just puts out the truth. And so for me, with all of this stuff that's going on around, what I'm trying to do, the way I feel like I can be the most helpful, not only to myself but to the world in general, is to figure out what the truth is and get the truth out there. And, you know, I'm just like you. I've been getting lots of stuff, seeing every day there's something else coming out, and some of it is, you know, it's like, it's crazy, but it's like you can't just take this stuff and go out and share it with the world. You got to verify it first. You got to run it through the channels. You got to run it through the minds of the people that are part of our incredible family. And that's one of the things that seems so powerful to me, is that we have such incredible minds involved with this company. With Kangen Water, we have such incredible people involved with this that are interested in the truth, that do want to get it out there, that do want to make sure that we're giving out the proper information. And, you know, for us, you know, we have to be really careful about what we say, because, you know, we have a solution, but we can't say it. And that's just because of the fact that there are people out there who don't want the truth out there. And we have to be careful. We have to, as Tim always says, we have to outwit the devil. And, you know, so for me, I want to bring positive information. I want to bring truth to this situation, whatever it is, wherever it lies. I don't know. I got to find it. I got to dig for it. I got to dig deep. I got to jump high. I got to do whatever I got to do to be able to get the truth out there. And then once I've got that truth, I need to get it out. And that's why you're going to be seeing on pretty much every single post I put out there, you're going to see a hashtag that says Truth Seekers Must Unite. And I'm encouraging everybody to use that hashtag to get it out there, because, quite frankly, Coach, we must unite. And we must share good, positive information like what you're bringing to the table today.
But we suggest you making macaroni and cheese.
So, That's my take on it, Coach. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only truth that I can hold on to right now is that God is still in control. Even amidst the mess, we know there is great evil in the world, and that alone can be just overwhelming to think about. But the truth to me is I know that God is bigger than all of it. He'll only let all this go but so far. But, we are accountable for our part, in prayer and doing the right thing and seeking out truth, that type of thing. But I just have to rest in that right now, that something greater than me is still in control, who has my back, who still has my good, and that even amidst this mess, something beautiful is still going to come out of it. My husband and I mean, we've lost our home. We've been through some hard times. And yet, if I look back, I would go through it all again because it built us into who we are today. So we have to trust the process of letting this build us into who we are. And I think for a lot of people, it is a time of self-reflection. They're thinking about life in a bigger picture because otherwise, everybody's just on the treadmill of life, basically going nowhere. And 5 to 10 years, they're in the same place. Or now they've had a heart attack. I mean, how many people are actually thinking about their health who probably had a heart attack down the line for them in the next 1, 2, 3 years or whatever, and now because they're taking their health more seriously, maybe they'll avoid that. There's people who have just been so set in their jobs that they hate and barely getting by that they're not paying attention to opportunities like ours that have such incredible financial freedom type of possibilities and passive income and creating a life that you love and helping and serving people. So I think that this is a time, what they keep saying is it's the Great Awakening. To those who will wake up, it's time to awaken to something bigger and more for our lives. And this is a time of shifting. Those who allow themselves to be shifted are going to go up, I believe, to something much higher and something much greater. But you have to be willing and open to say, okay, what is the message through this? What do I need to work on in me during this time so that I can go up to that next level? Because we have the time right now, There was ever a time to think about your life, if there's ever a time to think about your health, your finances, eternity, everything, now is the time. So.
I love your little giggle, Coach. It's always so awesome hearing that little giggle from you, but you're right on the money. And I think that may very well be the biggest and best thing that comes out of this, is that people actually start looking forward about their health. People are actually concerned about their health all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah.
Where, 6 months ago, people didn't give a rat about their health.
Yep.
And now, all of a sudden, everybody cares about it. So if there's any kind of a silver lining to be had in this thing, it seems to me that's where it's found, right there. Because we all know that without your health, you really don't have anything. And so, yeah, I love it, Coach. Thank you so much for bringing that up today, because, as usual, you're always bringing in the goods. And, yeah, what an awesome message for today. And I hope
J.
that
John,
we'll take it seriously.
Listen, we need to call today's show If There Ever Was a Time.
I'm on it.
To start smoking 3 packs a day, I'm telling you.
Oh,
the time is now. And you're beautiful. I appreciate you bringing that up. You're so surrounded by people flipping out. You're surrounded by people. I've been told I'm ignorant. I've been told I'm paranoid. I've been called a liar. anything that I'm trying to present in some kind of hope-based. I've talked about how I had a guy literally tell me on Instagram, you're telling people their immune system and, you know, alkalized water can be helpful to building the immune system, and that, you know, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's curing anything. And he's like, there's no evidence. And I'm like, but I've been doing this 11 years. There's evidence everywhere. But if you're looking in one direction and you're not turning down a different road, you're just going to keep going around the mountain, going around the mountain. We're all, in this world, we're all trying to get over the thing. You know, we're trying to go over the mountain and not just to build a big hamster trail around the thing. You know, so I don't know, but the humor's intentional. The humor's, you know, I've been called to not be, I'm not taking this serious enough, flippant. And I'm like, you guys, I get it. This thing's evidently hurting people, but not at the level that, you know, I posted something on Fauci the other day. What he's telling TV and what I'm reading in his New England Journal of Medicine report end of March, there's a 10 times difference of, you know, efficacy of this virus. He's telling people on TV. And people are looking at him like he's the Wizard of Oz. You know? And so, I don't know. I'm just trying to maintain a perspective that's light, that's happy, that's positive, that's just trying to do the right thing, you know? And that's all I got.
Amen. Yeah. Coach, thank you. It's always such a blessing to have you in here. I always look forward to the first Monday of every month because we get to visit with you, and it's always a blessing. You always have such great stuff to bring and a great message, and so yeah.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And you know, I think like what Sean's referring at is we are right now, we're just bombarded on every side with so much negativity, so much to discourage us. You try to be a light, and people, they don't necessarily want the light. They want to wallow around in misery. Like, they're just controlled by fear. You have to understand, again, with the fear, they go into fight and flight. Their conscious mind is shut down, and they go into the animalistic mind. So when you are reacting out of fear, you're not rational. You have to understand, when they're attacking you, they're not attacking you out of their rational mind. They're attacking you out of this subconscious fear. It's like when you get really, really angry, like overwhelmingly angry, and all this stuff comes out of your mouth, and later you think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said all of that. That was because you're in that animalistic state. And so the way to bring ourselves out of that is to become aware. Okay, I'm in this fight or flight state. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to begin to think about what I can control, and I can think about something that I'm grateful for. And right now I'm just going to take a minute and get myself calmed down and understand that, like with Sean, like it's not you. This is people's own reactions out of their own fear.
Sure.
But sometimes it's hard to not take that personally, and I get it.
Yeah, you just want them to understand. Okay, right. So it's not. To me, it's just like I wish I could palm their head and just have them get just an inclination of my perspective before they say anything. You know, and it's just because of your compassion for people. You know, I'm not running around trying to argue and set fires. I'm out there trying to help people. And when close people in your world that have patted you on the back for little things along the way, and they're all of a sudden you're like, look, man, you've got to understand I haven't changed. Your fear is driving your bus right now.
Right.
And
right.
I'm not in fear. I'm not in a place of fear. I'm in a place of concern. I'm in a place of perspective. I'm in a place of how do I move forward from here in the most facilitating capacity I can to be that light that we're asked to be, that we're destined to be. You know, it's a responsibility. It's not a pedestal. It's not a megaphone. To me, it's just a responsibility, and we have the forum to do it in the social media, so you put it out there, And that's all it does. It just breaks my heart that people freak out like that and just lose their shit. People are losing their shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to, keep it all in perspective. Sometimes it requires a little, directness. Sometimes it requires a laugh and just a little perspective humor. You roll the dice and you just see what you can do. And at the end of the day, I know there are people out there that are responding, that are what I'm saying is resonating with them, and it is calming them. So there's sheep, there's wolves, and there's sheepdogs, really, or shepherds, if you want to. But at the end of the day, the sheep are running to the cliff, the wolves are driving them there, and we're the sheepdogs trying to say, hey, let's go this way. And they're just 3 cigarettes hanging out their mouth with a face mask as they're running off the cliff. A flask of whiskey, screwball whiskey tucked away in their fur. You can't drink it when you land on the bottom of the cliff. You can't drink it. You're going to be dead.
Yep. But it's a herd mentality. That's 90% of the population have our herd mentality. And if we can understand that and recognize that we've begun to step out of the herd mentality, and some will love us and follow, and some are going to persecute us. But all we can do is do our job, and to do it in love. My husband, when I started getting frustrated, he's like, okay, are you responding in love? Are you responding in anger and frustration? I'm like, yes. Right now I'm trying really hard to respond in love. It's not always easy. But, right now, we just have to trust, again, we can't control all the other, just control ourselves, trusting that something bigger than us has all this under control, and trusting that something beautiful is going to come out of that. I believe that with all my heart. For those who are willing, something really beautiful is going to come out of all this.
Yeah. Yeah, when people are losing their shit, we need to give them some toilet paper. And that's what this is. That's what today's show has been. It's been toilet paper, baby. And, everybody needs toilet paper these days. And so, yeah. Coach, thank you so much. I know you're busy today. I know you've got a deadline going on, so we're going to go ahead and jump out of here after we get through our what's you got any one last thing you'd love to drop on people for today? One last little piece of toilet paper for the kids.
Just focus on gratitude, because you can focus on all the crap, but the only way you're going to feel happiness and joy through this is you've got to focus on what you can be thankful for right now. And maybe it's just that your heart's beating. Maybe it's that you don't have coronavirus, that the sun came up. But just focus on that, and that's going to begin to allow yourself to feel happiness and joy again, despite all of that. Turn off the TV. Just keep all that to the absolute minimum, because it's just going to drag you down. And just focus on being the light that we're called to be.
Yes. Amen. Yeah. Well, that's all part of it right there, kids. We are the Kong family. We're here to change the world. And, hey, Sean, can you remind everybody how is it again that we're changing the world?
1 glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, supremely hydrating Kangen 9.5 water, if you please.
Amen, brother. One lightning bolt in a box. One incredible, informative, fun guest and fun show, and one amazing family at a time. And so, yeah, let's get out there. Let's change the world, starting with our own. And right now, in this day and time of social distancing, you can't get a hug from anybody else. So you might as well give yourself a big hug and let them rip. You'll be surprised at how good they make you feel.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I love you so much. Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you.
And
thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Another great show, and as soon as I can figure out how to get the recording, I'll get it up, and we can get it out there for everybody to see.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Love having you, and so it's a blessing.
God bless you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
I'm
Love
back
you so
to.
much.
I'm
Bye for now.
spooning a little basil pesto pizza, baby, with chicken and artichoke hearts and all kinds of deliciousness.
Sounds good. Okay, bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Have a great day.
Have a great one. Bye for now.
Rodgar, you're beautiful. Atta boy.
Let's see here.
You still on? Okay, cool. Hey, listen, and I